guys, it's CootSteph and welcome to a tutorial video. As you can tell by the title, we're doing 3 different flower DIYs or like crafts. First, we are going to be making this duct tape flower pen. I haven't made one of these in years, but I decided to put it in this video because it has to do with spring and I thought that it turned out really well, so yeah. Next we're doing this flower made out of paper. It's not a pen like the duct tape one, but I guess you could technically make it one. Yeah, so this was really cool and it turned out really well. And I only made one, but I suggest making a bunch to make a little bouquet. Finally, we're making this big thing. It's like a wreath. Yeah, so this is gonna hang on my wall and I think it looks really cool, even though I had to improvise a little bit with it, and I'll explain that during the tutorial. So I make these 3 things, and obviously if you want to see them made, you know, keep watching. Like I said before, we're doing the duct tape flower pens first. So first you're gonna need some duct tape, a regular pen, preferably with a cap or something, just because for this project the stem is going to be that, and a twisty pen like this will not work. Then you will need an X-Acto knife with a cutting board, and if you don't have that, scissors are great. So this is what you want your flowers to look like, and this is what you don't, and that's because on the bad ones you're progressively putting the petals upward when you should be putting them downward, and it just looks 10 times better. So step 1 for this project, you're gonna wanna measure out where your cap ends, and that's because this is where we're putting the color of like the stem. So that's where mine ends, and then you're just gonna wanna cut or X-Acto knife a strip of duct tape that length. And then you're gonna take the strip of duct tape and line it up as straight as you can onto the pen, because we're gonna be just rolling it as flatly as possible, like creasing it like that. You just want to make sure you don't crinkle it. This is how mine ended up looking. Now it's time to start making the petals. I made sure to cut a clean edge to work with. Each petal has to be a square, so you want to measure out 2 inches per petal. For how many to cut out, I used about 46 for my project, and of course it varies for each one, so it depends. Yay, now for actually making the petals. So what you want to do is have like the straightest edge be where you fold down to. So you're going to take one corner and you're going to fold it, leaving just a little bit of tape left. Then you want to fold the other corner in and line it up with the other one. Here, I'll show you again. So just fold each corner in, leaving just a little bit of tape left. After you have all the petals, it's time to place them onto the pen. So this part is actually really easy. So you're just going to want to take your petal, and like I said before, you want to go downward as you put the petals on instead of upward. So all you're going to do is take the petal, line it up to where you want to go, and all you're going to do is just flatten the tape across. And this is what the final flower looks like. As you could see by the bottom here, I made it the same exact color as the stem, and sometimes what I do is I take a little petal, or like 4 petals, and I put it just below the flower so it looks like a little bit of leaves, so that it gives it a cleaner look. But because it looked good anyway, I decided not to mess with it. Now moving on to the paper flowers. For this you will need some glue. I chose Elmer's glue, but whatever works. Scissors, a ruler, and then some colored paper. The first thing we're gonna make is the petals, so choose whatever color you want the petals to be, and you're gonna cut out a piece of paper 2 by 8 inches. Next, for the petal, we're gonna be cutting a bunch of tiny little strips, but make sure that there's about a centimeter left on the other side because we don't want to cut the strips off because we want the petals to be one continuous strip. The petals on this flower are super curly, so how you're gonna do it is just roll up each individual strip. Before we get finished, I wanted to give you guys a tip, and that is to take your thumb and finger and just kind of roll out the strip, and that'll give it a little bit of a curl and a head start for when you're rolling it up. You want to grab some green paper for the stem and cut out 2 by 10 inches. Then just roll it from one of the top corners. This is what it should look like, and you just want to glue both of the ends to secure them. Before we glue the petals on, just kind of pull them out a little bit so they aren't as tight. Now it's time to glue the petals on, and I decided to glue the petals on the end with the paper that unravels, so that way we glue it tight. So you're just going to take it, and I did it in little sections, so I just glued this little part and then I started wrapping it. So continuously keep adding little lines of glue, wrapping it around, gluing it, wrapping it around, and that's how you put the petals on. And this is what it looks like. Finally, we have to measure out 2 by 3 inches for the leaves. Now fold the paper you cut out into an accordion style fold. Then take your scissors and you're basically going to be cutting out a point. And this is what it looks like, and it's not completely even, but I think it looks unique that way. Just add glue and wrap it around. Before we get finished, I have one last thing to tell you guys. First is that I poked the top in because I thought there was too much green showing, and then the second was do the same thing with your fingers where you curl the paper so that the leaves look more curly. And that's it! Finally, onto the paper dahlia wreath. So what you're going to need is some colored paper. I got Astro Brights, something to write with, a ruler, scissors, some cardboard, then some glue, double-sided tape, and regular tape, plus a bowl that's 6.5 inches wide. Step number 1 is cutting out a 6.5 circle of cardboard. Grab 10 sheets of paper, 4 for the back row, 3 for the third row, 2 for the second row, and 1 for the front row. Then you're going to cut your paper 4.25 by 5.5 inches, and if you're using the Astro Brights, that's equally into fourths. Now that all of your sheets are cut, it's time to make the petals. A simple way to describe this is making them into cones, and what I did was I basically took 2 corners in, then I used double-sided tape to tape down a lot of it, but then I would go into the corner that's showing and peeking up, and I would add a little bit of glue just to secure that down and help the tape a little bit. Once you've made all the petals, it's time to make the actual wreath. So take your cardboard and your back row of petals and just start gluing them in a circle spaced out as evenly as possible. to make this row super secure, I decided to go in with my regular tape and just kind of tape the ends of the petal to the cardboard. And for the rest of the layers, I got scissors and I trimmed it just a little bit so that they wouldn't like bump each other too much in the middle. And so you're going to keep doing that for all the layers until you get to your final one. The petals in the middle didn't meet how I wanted them to, so I made this pink tube with a bottom to it. I put glue to the bottom and then I stuck it in the middle to secure it to the cardboard. So that's my centerpiece. And now we're finished. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. It took a lot of time and effort to do this video. Just a reminder, this is my first time doing each craft other than this one, so it's not 100% great, and in the description I have the original like online tutorials if you want to follow those. Yeah, but thanks for watching. Give this video a like if you want more tutorials, and if you're not already a Cootie, be sure to subscribe to be a part of the Coot clan, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye!